Hey ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my videos. First things first, I want to mention a course that I'm going to be releasing. I'm not sure in how long, but pretty soon. I'll be working on like a video course, okay, and it's going to be a health and fitness course. Okay, so it's a course to get you in the best shape of your life, basically, and it will also teach you about nutrition and proper eating, and I will give you a lot of tips and tricks on how to get to your goal and how to basically maintain your results, okay? Some of the things that my course will mention is assessing your goals, right? How to go about doing that. Discovering your body type, right? Eating for your body type and training for your body type as well. The various benefits of fasting, right? Toning up for ladies, right? And or building muscle for guys. And, just proper nutrition, right? Also I will discuss supplements, right? And should you really be taking supplements, or should you refrain from doing that? If you're interested in this course, then you'll probably be able to download it from me. Of course, it's not going to be a free course, right? But it's going to have a lot of very useful and great information that you can, use for the rest of your life, okay? So I'm probably going to post this course to a couple of different websites, and I'll be posting the links on some of my videos too, okay? So you'll be able to get it if you're interested in that. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing amazing and your days are going great and your weeks are going great. I think time is like going by so fast now. I don't know, I feel like, it's just going by incredibly fast. Like before we know it, like we'll be gone. Anyways, and this idea is kind of, it's not scary really, but it's just, I don't know, it's kind of sad because I feel like I still have so many things to do and I still want to see so many different things around the world. I still want to travel and I don't know, and I still want to learn, so many different things that I've never learned before. So I just feel like there isn't enough time in the world, or in the day, sorry. There isn't enough time in the day, right, to do everything that you want to do. Anyway, so what is this video going to be about, right? This video is going to be about finding your purpose, right? And why every single one of us should be living in our purpose, okay? So in this video, we'll be talking about finding your purpose, okay? And why living your purpose is actually extremely important, okay? Everyone has a different path, right? And my path, it's not going to be your path necessarily, right? But I think at the end of the day, it's extremely important that we all live in our purpose, okay? And the reason for that is because, when you're not living in your purpose, right? When you're not living in your life in alignment with who you are, right? Which is ultimately a light being, right? You're God's creation, right? You're a light being. You're a being of light, and for the most part, I believe people are good, right? So we should be, when we live in our purpose, when we're following our path, right, our God-given path, then we're ultimately going to serve not just ourselves, right, but humanity as a whole, okay? So by living in our purpose, everyone else or our brothers and sisters are going to benefit too, right? So it's not just going to be about us, right? Our purpose is not going to be about just serving our ego, right? It's not going to be about you know, about the money, just making that money, right? It's going to be about you know, having a positive impact on other people, right? Because that's what it's all about, guys. You know, I think when you sooner or later, right, as you get like a little bit older, right, you start to realize that, you know, living a selfish life, right, and a life that's only serving you, it's not doing you any good, right? You're ultimately not happy from it, right? You realize that there's more to life, right? And that by helping others and serving others, we actually help ourselves too, okay? Yeah, so finding that life purpose is extremely important, right? And some of us, you know, find it much faster than others, right? I know that it took me to find my purpose, like it took me a long time, okay? It took me a long time to find it, and while I was on my path, right? And I'm still kind of on that path, right? Even though I did find my purpose, I feel like it's not when you get to it, there's really never like a final destination, as we're always evolving, right, as human beings. And so our purpose kind of evolves too, right? So if you find something that you're really interested in, right, and then maybe you're getting older, right? You're growing as a person, you're learning new things, right? And then you're discovering something else about yourself, right? As you're doing this, your purpose also kind of evolves too, and it changes over time, right? So we're not like trees, right? We're not like we're always moving, basically, right? And so does our purpose in a way, right? I believe it kind of like it gets bigger, you know, in a sense, right? And so yeah, right? Anyways, another thing is, right, another thing to remember is that some people find their purpose much sooner than others, right? And some find it much later. And that is okay, right? All I have to tell you is that you're meant for much bigger things. You know, you're not meant to live a life that's miserable and is boring, right? And that's you know, that's not making any difference really, right? So if you find yourself stuck in a dead-end job, then just remember that it's only temporary, you know. Most things, in fact, everything is temporary in this world, right? Nothing is forever, nothing will last, right? Either situations, right, or relationships, or you know, the things that we're doing, right, it's not going to last. All of it will change, right? Eventually things will go away, right? Things will change, situations will change, things will happen, right? And that's it, right? So just remember, nothing is permanent. And if you are stuck in a dead-end job, or in a job that you hate right now, it does not mean that you cannot change that, okay? It does not mean it. In fact, it shouldn't mean that, because you're here to do really big things. You're here to make a difference, okay? All you have to do is just find that one thing that, you know, that inspires you. You know, find that one thing that you know, that can make a difference in your life and in other people's lives, right? That one thing that makes you, I don't know, feel alive, you know. You know, guys, also one other thing that I will mention to you, right, is because there are so many different opportunities nowadays, especially because of the fact that we can all work online, for example, right? That means you can, you know, and also because there are so many different various like marketing platforms and so on, right? You can utilize all of those tools, right? In order to make your passion work for you, okay? In order to make a living from it, okay? That's another thing that you should definitely consider, right? Is that, you know, back in the day, maybe the starving artist, for example, right? That was like a normal thing, right? And artists did kind of have to starve because they didn't have as many tools as we do now, right? So nowadays we have the internet, right? We have I don't know, we have, you know, like I said, marketing platforms that we can use to market our art, for example, right? We can sell to different places, different countries, right? We can sell to, we can, and we can, for example, if you're an artist, right? You can offer design services, right, to others and so on. So you can branch out, right? You don't have to, uh, in other words, right, you can create different ways, different sources of income, right, from your creativity, right, or from your passion, and make a living out. Okay, so guys, another thing to remember, right, is that you want to follow your heart when it comes to, you know, finding your purpose. Okay. You know, when I went to business school, right, I didn't follow my heart. I followed my ego, okay? I wanted to start some kind of a business, right? And I knew I wanted to be independent. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? I knew I wanted to do my own thing, basically, right? And that's the reason why I went into business school. But at the same time, I also knew it was going to be kind of hard for me. I knew there was going to be a lot of math involved, right? And I wanted to kind of prove to myself that I could do it, you know? And yeah, okay, I did it, right? But so what? Like, I feel like I didn't get too much out of that business degree, right? A lot of my classes were extremely boring and just like very kind of obvious to me, you know, so I ended up like leaving a lot of my classes and just reading the book, you know, by myself at home, you know. Yeah, sure, some of my professors were exceptional, right, and they definitely left a mark on me, right, like a positive mark, especially by the things that they said, right, and but yeah, for the most part, I would say that I didn't learn anything that I, you know, wouldn't have been able to learn from books, to be honest with you, right? So I think I would have been much better off learning some kind of a very specific skill, you know, instead of just following my ego, you know. So anyways, we're going into, you know, another field, a completely different field. But once again, right, we're never the same people in our journey, right? We're always evolving, always learning, right? And, you know, the person that I was 10 years ago, that's not who I am now. You know, I'm a completely changed and a completely different person. And that's what, you know, makes this journey so individual, so special, is that, you know, we're evolving, right? We're always changing. So does our mindset, right? And so do our values, I suppose, too, right? So what I valued 10 years ago is not what I value now, right? And you learn, you know, mostly through pain, right? You learn through pain, you learn through experience. And if you experience enough pain, then eventually you're bound to change something, right? In order to kind of feel good, right? And so yeah, I you know, I took on a lot of different business jobs, right? I've been a manager, like I mentioned in some of my other videos, right? I was in business development. I even worked for Samsung and Google for 1 year and then another year. It was just a contract position, but I was a team lead, right, at Samsung Pay. And, you know, in a way, in some ways, I enjoyed that job, right? It was okay. It was fun in certain ways. Like, it was really flexible. I didn't really have to be in an office to, like, I had to check in maybe once a week, right? But it was mostly out in the field, right? Which I liked, which I enjoyed, right? But at the end of the day, was my job doing any good, really? I don't think so. In fact, I would probably argue the opposite. Was I as conscious of what I was doing at the time by promoting, a certain product, right? No, I wasn't, and if this was me right now, would I still be doing it, doing that job? No, I probably wouldn't be. Um, so yeah, there are always implications to our actions, right? And when we do things for money, right, just for money and out of our ego, right, in a sense, out of our full self, right, then we end up suffering, and so do other people too, okay? Because our actions always affect other people too. And so, yeah. My job at Samsung, I got paid really well, right? But um, it didn't really bring me any personal emotional fulfillment. I wasn't getting energized by it. And I think that's another key to consider when you're looking for your purpose, okay? When you are in alignment with your purpose, right, you will feel a sense of emotional fulfillment, okay? Um, you know, after like after a while, right? Like I said, it took me a while to find, but I started teaching, right? And that's when I realized that I finally hit the spot, with teaching and writing. Yeah, I probably like writing a little bit more. I really love writing, right? And I've gotten better and better at it. But still, I'm still on this journey, right? There's still room for improvement, but still, yeah. So writing and teaching, right? This is one of my things that I really love doing, right? And it's making a difference in my students' lives, right? And um, just from that, right? From the thank yous, from the compliments, from the results, I just get so like, I don't know, I just get so happy, and it makes my job worthwhile, basically, and I get energized after my lessons. I don't dread coming to work. I don't feel like I have to force myself. Yeah, of course, as I teach at the end of the day for the most part, right? So because I have a kid, right, I get really, really drained, and it's kind of tough to teach sometimes, right? Like after being with the kiddo all day long, right? And um, but still, because I love my job, I don't feel like it's taking from me. I feel like it's also giving to me, right? So emotionally, it's fulfilling. It keeps me energized, right? And so if you have a job that's depleting you all the time, over and over again, no money is worth it. Trust me. Like I said, I worked for Samsung, right? And I had that kind of a job. And yes, I got the money, and it was good, right? But it just, at the end of the day, wasn't worth it, right? Anyway, so if you have a job, right, that I don't know, that doesn't pay enough, right? Like teachers don't make that much money, right? You can always do other things with it, right? You can create courses. You can, I don't know, write books. You can tutor groups, right? You can start groups in your physical location, right? You can kind of like I said, you can branch out, right? So if you're an artist, if you're a teacher, if you're a healer or a psychologist, I don't know, anyone, right? Nowadays, there are so many different opportunities, so many different ways of making money, right? From your passion, you just have to like think outside of the box, basically, right? So yeah. Um, anyway, so yeah, if you another thing to consider, right, is if you don't know what your passion is, think of the days when you weren't in your ego yet, right? When you were a little kid, like what were you passionate about, you know, like what did you enjoy doing? I know that when I was a kid, right, I was really interested in writing. I really loved writing, right? And you know, yeah, I was very good at it. You know, I was good at memorizing, remembering poems, right? And singing, right? And just like and writing. You know, I really enjoyed that. And so in a sense, you know, I kind of like as I grew up, right? I just forgot. I forgot about that kind of thing that kind of came naturally, right? And so yeah, that's what happens, I think, to a lot of people. They kind of either forget, you know, it's kind of like having a best friend that could be your lover, right? Also, but you kind of like ignore him because he's always just been there, right? But at the end of the day, he's like the best thing that's out there for you, right? So it's the same with like hobbies, right? I mean, it's the same with your passion. Sometimes you kind of like you have this thing, you take it for granted, or you don't see it. It becomes like invisible over time, right? So you just overlook it and you look for other things. So you have to take a step back, right? And you really have to like to think about what what was the thing that you were really passionate about when you were a kiddo, right? So yeah, another thing to consider, guys, is that, you know, you have to consider if you do find, for example, a skill, right, that you were interested in. Like, for example, in my case, it was teaching, mentoring, yeah, and writing, right? And, you know, you can kind of, what you can do is instead of working in dead-end jobs, right? Jobs that, I mean, any job can teach you something, right? I've had so many different jobs, right? And I learned so many different things from them, right? Which kind of ultimately, I guess, makes me like the jack of all trades, right? I wouldn't say master in none because I feel like I am really good in a couple of different things, right? Definitely not all of them, and there's still definitely room for improvement in all of them, right? But yeah, but try to take a job, right, that is going to make this particular skill of yours even stronger, okay? So that's another thing to consider, right? Don't just take any job. Think about the skills that you will learn there, you know, the skills that you will improve, right? So think about the skills that you actually want to improve, right? Like whether it's public speaking, right? Whether it's, I don't know, being comfortable in speaking to like a lot of people, or you know, one-on-one. Maybe it's emotional support, right? Mental support. Maybe it's, I don't know, in tech, something in tech, programming, I don't know, right? Whatever it is that you feel like you want to develop, right? Anyways, another thing to consider is trying out many different things, you know. Don't be afraid to quit a job if you you know, if you feel like you've hit a wall and you're not learning enough anymore, you know? If you feel like you've hit a wall, or if you feel like that job is just, it's a dead-end job, it's not going to lead to anything greater, right? It's not going to make you grow as a person, then just don't do it. Just quit, you know? Because, you know, nowadays, companies are not loyal to us, you know? In fact, I don't believe that they ever were, right? Companies are all about making profits, making money. They don't care about the employee, you know? At Google, at Samsung, right? They might treat their employees well, right? But they know that, you know, by treating their employees well, they're going to be more productive. They're just smart, right? They're smart about this, right? They know that they can get more out of their employees by you know, making their lives like more comfortable, right, and cushy. So at the end of the day, they do not care about you. And so ultimately, I think you know, your goal should be it should be about you know, finding your purpose, right? Developing your skills, and taking those skills and making a difference in other people's lives. Only this time, you know, with purpose and consciously, right? Make sure you're conscious about how your skills are being utilized, how what kind of an impact they're having in our world, right? Because so many ideas and products and services have been brought to humanity, but they're not doing any of us any good. In fact, they're, you know, they're dangerous, they're destructive, right? So much junk food. Just think of junk food, right? Think of, you know, all these energy drinks, right? All the junk food that's been put out into the market, right? All the even AI and artificial technology, right? Just think about the implications, right? Even social media, you know, how much damage has that done to the kids, right? And to our psyche, and how much addiction has it caused, right? And so I don't think that the makers were the creators were too concerned about that. You know, they were more concerned with money, with their egos, right? The more money I have, the more powerful I'll be, right? Just remember, guys, money is temporarily, right? If tomorrow will have a crash, your money will be worthless. It will mean nothing at all. It's just going to be a piece of paper, okay? Also, you can't take your money with you when you die, you know, when you move on. So money is just a tool, you know, it's a tool to be used, right? It's a tool. Yeah, it's a fun tool, right? It's amazing to have money. It sucks to be broke, obviously, right? But you know, just remember what's important, okay? Okay, guys, so some other things that you will notice, okay, when you're living in your purpose, okay? Some very strange things for some, right? But anyways, when you're in alignment with your purpose, right, a lot of us will start seeing numbers, okay? And you'll see, I know some of you will say, oh, it's selective seeing, right? What you focus on tends to like manifest itself, right? Like if it's a red car, then you'll start seeing red cars everywhere, right? But that's not always the case, because these numbers can manifest themselves to you through other people. They might run up to you. You'll ask, hey kid, how old are you? And he'll be like 13 and run off, you know, or maybe your kiddo will continuously mention that number, maybe place it on the fridge even, or something. That has happened to me, right? Anyway, so you'll start seeing these numbers everywhere, literally everywhere, okay? One of the numbers, so numbers are supposedly like the universe's way of communicating with us, or God's way, angel's way, right? Of communicating with us, with our, how do you know what a number means? Well, you have to tune into your intuition, okay? Every number, I believe, is personal, right? Because we do have different life paths. Some are similar, right? But they're usually not the same. Anyways, and by looking at numbers, right, you really have to tune into your intuition and listen to it. Listen to what it's telling you about this particular number, okay? If you've got some kind of, if you're looking at a number, right, that's always popping up, listen to your intuition and you will hear the answer. You will hear about the meaning of that particular number, okay? And what it means for you in particular, okay? So nobody can really tell you this, you know. You can try looking it up online, but it's not going to, like, it's not necessarily going to be correct, right? So yeah, you will see numbers everywhere, okay? I started seeing 1111, okay? It has a special meaning to me. And also I started seeing 13 everywhere, okay? As soon as I I kind of had my spiritual awakening, I started seeing 13s everywhere, like hearing it and seeing it, and it was just a really interesting phenomenon, okay? Something that I completely ignored and I was oblivious to when I didn't have my spiritual awakening, okay? So another thing, guys, is that, you know, when you're living in your purpose, when opportunities come up, right, you'll know the right ones. You'll be able to distinguish the right ones from the wrong ones. It will be really, really simple, right? You will feel when the opportunity is right for you, okay? And yeah, you're also more likely to work with the people that are in alignment with who you are too and your purpose and so on. You know, so when I started working, I also, when I was teaching, I also had another job, right? So I was working with a therapist, and I talked about her a little bit in my other videos, right? But she was an amazing person. She had kids, you know, she was this happy and like godly woman, just a beautiful human being. And we just ended up creating a whole bunch of different courses together, right, in relation to like mental health, and we created blogs and so on, right? It was just amazing. It was such a great experience. Honestly, guys, it was like one of my best work experiences. So yeah. Also, when you're in alignment with who you are, right, with your life purpose, you'll get a lot of compliments. People will be very, very happy with your work, right? You'll get a lot of compliments. Like if you're a teacher, a lot of people will be referring you, right? I've gotten a lot of that, like a lot of referrals. So naturally, you will just be, your passion will just be so obvious to other people, okay? When I wrote blogs, right, I got so many different compliments from other people, right? And my kind of my colleague, or not a colleague, but the person that I was working with, right, my client, she told me that she was getting a lot of, you know, positive feedback about my blogs, right? And she was really happy about that, and so was I, you know, and that's because I really, really loved the work that I was doing, you know. So like I said, when you're doing something that you love, you will naturally just attract more clients to you, more opportunities, right? And just more ways of making money, okay? So the money will just come. It will come naturally, you know. And once again, right, the last thing that I already kind of mentioned is that you'll be energized by your work. You know, it will not drain you, okay? That emotional bank will keep on filling, okay? And that means you can do more things, right? When we're emotionally full, we can do so many different things, right? We can be better mothers, better fathers. We can, I don't know, focus on other projects, right? We can create, we can, I don't know. Really, it's, you know, when you're doing something that you love, right? And especially when it comes to your job, it is extremely important to have something that you, to do, to work in something that you love. It's extremely important because most of your life will consist of working, right? Most of us will spend the majority of our time on work, right? With some exceptions, of course, right? But yeah, and if your work is constantly depleting you, you're just going to end up mentally unhealthy. You're gonna end up physically unhealthy. You're gonna get sick. You're gonna start getting diseases, right? So guys, really consider changing what you're doing, and just remember, if you're doing something that you hate right now, it's not the end of the world, okay? I've done many different jobs that I couldn't stand. Fortunately, I didn't last too long at those, right? And that's okay too, okay? If you end up quitting, it's okay, okay? If you know something is not meant for you, if you feel like that job is draining you, it's sucking the life force out of you, just quit it. Quit it. You know, sometimes we need to stay in certain jobs, right? But for the most part, it's mental. So we get mentally trapped in certain work, and that's okay. Just recognize that and get unstuck. You know, a mental trap is not a physical trap. Nobody is keeping you in jail, right? You're in a mental jail, which you can get out of by yourself, okay? And that, of course, starts with your thoughts, okay? You know, at the end of the day, you're never alone, okay? You've got God, okay? You have faith. That means you have to have faith in your abilities, right? In yourself, okay? And you have to have faith that everything will work out in your favor. And when you're on the right path, and if your purpose is, or if your motivation is to serve and positively serve other people, right? Then, you know, God will be on your side. He will take care of you. You know, He'll provide you with the right opportunities. He'll take care of all of your basic needs, you know, so you will never, like, you'll never be left alone, you know. Like I said, guys, in my other videos, right, this isn't just a physical world. It's a lot more spiritual too, right? And just because you can't see something does not mean that it doesn't exist, right? So yeah, just have that faith. It's really, really important. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Have faith in your ability to find your purpose. And you will. You will. Just keep on searching for it. Don't give up. And just know that you're not your job also, right? Our job, our titles, they're just one of our experiences, right? They're two of our experiences, or three of our experiences, right? We're not our titles. We are the consciousness experiencing these titles, right? These, I mean, yeah, we're the consciousness behind all of those titles, right? So just always remember that, you know, and I don't know, have fun on this journey. It shouldn't be taken seriously. It's fun. It should be fun. It should be enjoyable. And yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Peace out. Okay. Much love to you. Consider subscribing. Okay.